This time, on Only in America, the Dreamers celebrate the holidays while Congress haggles over their future. And I'm in Miami, talking with the president of America's biggest community college. He's worried about the rhetoric surrounding the current immigration debate, but he's hopeful because of the students in his care.
There is a very ugly, hateful rhetoric about immigrants, which is far from the truth, not realizing that immigrants are the fabric of this society and great contributors to the new energy that we need in America to continue to position ourselves as leaders of the world.
From the National Immigration Forum, I'm Ali Noorani with Only in America. It looks like it's going to be a dreamery Christmas. With a budget deadline looming, it's likely the House will pass a clean 2-week continuing resolution extending the current budget to just before the holidays. Speaker Ryan can't afford to lose many House Republican votes, as Democrats are unlikely to support the measure. Meanwhile, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell will need at least 8 Democratic votes to pass the resolution. This gives lawmakers 2 weeks to negotiate spending caps. A number of items, including a fix for Dreamers, will be part of that conversation. Democrats will have leverage at this point, as their votes will likely be needed for both passage in the House and the Senate. If a legislative fix for Dreamers is not included in 2017, we end up in the hands of appropriators as they negotiate an omnibus bill in the new year. Some reasons to feel optimistic about resolution before Christmas include 2 Republican House members are currently organizing a letter of over 30 of their colleagues to Speaker Ryan urging a fix by year's end. Second, the issue is part of nearly every news story about the year-end budget fight. And finally, Representative Amodei from Nevada was the second Republican to sign a discharge petition that would bring Dreamer legislation to the floor, bypassing committee processes. But it is 2017, and Trump, Ryan, and McConnell continue to hold the line that the issue should be resolved next year, separate from the budget, and much closer to the March 5th deadline. Pressure by moderate Republicans may be enough to push leadership to change their mind, which means Schumer and Pelosi must continue to threaten to shut down the government over DACA. This is all going to get more difficult because of the controversial acquittal of Jose Inez Garcia Zarate by a jury in San Francisco in the tragic death of Catherine Steinle. The verdict was condemned by President Trump and Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who linked the killing to San Francisco's, quote, sanctuary policies. The short version of our longer analysis is that both the Sheriff's Office and the Department of Justice had policies in place that allowed this individual to be released. But the verdict gives the opposition a powerful opportunity to steer the message away from Dreamers and to so-called sanctuary cities. This all has the potential to make the path for a legislative solution much harder. One last thing. On Sunday, the U.S. pulled out of the 2016 non-binding Global Compact on Migration. Look at it this way. These days we are fighting tooth and nail to protect from deportation the 750,000 young people who have been here for years, as the U.S. shuts itself off from the world. In many ways, we are fighting yesterday's immigration battle. Why do I say that? Because with 65 million people displaced and migration as the driving factor for U.S. population growth, tomorrow's immigration debate is going to be increasingly global. Pulling out of agreements and shutting doors is taking us down a slippery and dangerous slope where Americans have few places to look for constructive guidance. So I'm optimistic we'll get a win for Dreamers, but let's be aware of the challenges ahead. I'm Ali Noorani. Coming up, the Cuban-American who has led Miami-Dade College for more than 2 decades. Along the way, building a learning powerhouse which now has over 170,000 students.
Support for the National Immigration Forum comes from the James Irvine Foundation, expanding opportunity for the people of California, and from the Carnegie Corporation of New York, established in 1911 by Andrew Carnegie to promote the advancement and diffusion of knowledge and understanding.
Dr. Eduardo Padron is the president of Miami-Dade College, where he's worked since the early 1970s. The students at Miami-Dade come from over 192 countries and between them speak more than 90 different languages. He told me why he's optimistic for America, because of the ambitions his students express.
Probably the most diverse college or university in America. This is a microcosm of the city of Miami. We have students from all over the world. 192 different countries in our student body are represented by students from those countries, about 94 different languages. We serve a lot of the minority community. It's a student body that mostly working class people, students who really understand that the only way to get a ticket to the middle class and the American dream is pursuing an education, and we welcome them with open arms and provide them with an affordable quality education for them to be able to succeed in life. Our students mostly are first generation college students. Many of them English is not their first language. For many of them are the children of immigrants. It's an incredible laboratory where the students grow and learn together, and it is for learning and for teaching. You couldn't ask for a better student body.
And how long have you been here?
I've been here as president 23 years, but I've been with the institution 47.
Wow. And how have you seen the student body change over time, both in terms of makeup, but also, their goals and aspirations?
Well, in terms of the makeup of the student body, yes, it continues to change and evolve. It's a student body that is constantly evolving. In terms of aspirations, I think the aspirations remain the same. The aspirations is to how to become contributing members of society, how to really get the education and the skills that are needed to succeed in the new innovation economy of the 21st century, which is very different from even a few years back. And students who make a lot of sacrifices to being in school. These are students who have to, many of them, work and go to school at the same time. They have families to support. These are students who are very committed to their studies. And as I said before, I wouldn't want any better student body. They are a joy and a pleasure to work with.
So in South Florida, obviously the economy has also changed over time, and Miami-Dade and the National Immigration Forum we worked together on this English language learning program for the staff of Publix. What we found that's been very interesting is that many of the workers that we're training, they work with your staff in terms of learning English, and then for the first time they say, "Oh, college is accessible to me," and they go on to enroll. And to me, it starts to kind of introduce a question of just not just access, but of the opportunity is mine. And as the community has changed, do you feel that engaging people and even saying, okay, Miami-Dade College is within your grasp?
Well, I don't think there is a college with a bigger reach than Miami-Dade College.
Right.
There is almost every household in Miami-Dade County, a community of 2.6 million people right now, is connected to the college one way or another. We have now admitted to this college about 2.2 million people. So it's hard to find a household where someone in that household has not benefited from Miami-Dade College. Our idea of education is very broad, because we feel that education now has to be lifelong. You just don't go to school, get a diploma, and forget about the books. You really need to continue studying. And actually, we open the doors to not just the 18 and 19-year-olds. Our student body is very diverse in that regard too. There are many people who realize that they have to come back and be able to get new skills, new credentials, new certifications. And so we have people in their 30s, their 40s, even their 50s here enrolled in the school in different programs. And we specialize in that. This is democracy's college. This is a dream factory where people can come and realize their dreams at an affordable price. And frankly, we're a true example for the nation, because this is an incubator of inclusion. It's not only diverse, but we include everyone And I feel that's what's made Miami-Dade College so well known nationally and what has attracted so many of the leaders of this country and the world, because it's an experiment that works. It's not an elitist institution. We don't select the students on high GPAs and high SATs and families with lots of money. We select students who have grit and a deep desire to learn.
So you said the Miami-Dade College is a dream factory. Where does our nation's immigration system fit into that production line?
That's a big challenge that we have today. I think we in America have failed to recognize that has made this country great is our open doors to immigrants. That's a history of this great nation. And unfortunately, we have a sector of society that has been demonizing, and there is a very ugly, hateful rhetoric about immigrants, which is far from the truth, not realizing that immigrants are the fabric of this society and great contributors to the new energy that we need in America to continue to position ourselves as leaders of the world. That's what's been the envy of the world, is the way that America has embraced immigrants. I'm myself an immigrant. I came here as a refugee. I made a lot of sacrifices and worked hard to be where I am today. I try to give back to others. And like me, there are millions and millions of Americans who are either first generation, second generation, third generation, who in fact, this is home. And people who love the country and the values that are embodied in our Constitution. This is a country that is very unique. It's the best nation in the world. And a lot of the wonderful things that happen in America today are the result of the hard work of immigrants.
Mm-hmm. As you're meeting with CEOs, whether it's here in South Florida or nationally, how do you explain to them, how do you make the case to them, and maybe you don't even have to make the case, or to policymakers, about the importance of higher education but also a functioning immigration system? Because I think Miami-Dade, you live right in between those two spaces, or on both of those spaces.
Well, for the CEOs, for business people, you don't have to make the case.
Yeah.
They know.
Yep.
They depend on the energy of the immigrant community to be able to, for their businesses to prosper. You will not find people who are business leaders, not only in Miami, but throughout the United States, who do not understand that. It's ironic what's going on in the country today, and it's a result of politics and misled discussions in terms of what this is all about. I really feel, and I want to remain hopeful, that we're going to come to our senses and really pass comprehensive immigration reform. We, of course, are a nation of laws, and we want to make sure that everyone respects the laws, and we want to make sure that we're all law-abiding citizens, etc. But that has nothing to do with this discussion. All the statistics that you may want to review in terms of the performance of immigrants in this country, what it shows is that as a group, they have the lower criminal record, they have lower incidents of almost everything, almost every indicator. And so I feel that as educators, like myself, we have a responsibility to educate community as to what is really the story here and how this country will not be able to succeed in the 21st century knowledge economy without a good, solid immigration policy that allows us to continue to benefit from the talents of people from around the world. Today, nations compete on the basis of talent. And I always say that talent is universal, but opportunity is not. And by denying immigrants who come to this country, and those who may want to come, the opportunity to come and develop their talent here, we're making a big, big mistake. America is aging, and we need more young people to be able to take the jobs that are being developed in the new technological era which we're living in. What I find, and I see it in my students, and I see in many of the students who come to this college, is that they have precisely the talent that we need in order to move forward.
So for Miami-Dade College, what is the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity for the next 10 years?
Well, the biggest challenge is, again, we're a public institution. And like many other public institutions around the country, what I find is that unfortunately many of the political leaders today see education as an expense, not as an investment. And the day we stop looking at education as the only way for this country to move forward, we're doomed. And it's as simple as that. As far as opportunities, I really have a tremendous respect and tremendous hope for the new generations that are coming along. I think the millennials, the Z generation, whatever you want to call it, are a much better generation than mine. These are people who have a more clear sense of purpose, a more clear dedication to public service, to service learning. I see it here every day. This weekend you see here all kind of young people around that could be at the beach or could be at the clubs, and they're here volunteering their services to make sure that the community is able to benefit from this wonderful experiment here at the book fair. So yes, I have concerns and have fears for what could happen if we are not able to follow the right path. But at the same time, I'm very hopeful with the kind of young people that we have in all of our communities today, that America has a tremendous potential for good.
Thank you very much, Dr. Padron.
Thank you, my friend.
Really appreciate everything you do. Dr. Eduardo Padron has been the president of Miami-Dade College for more than 20 years. You can read more about his life and career at our website, immigrationforum.org. And while you're there, let us know what you think. That's it for this week. Our podcast is produced by the National Immigration Forum and is now available on all of your favorite platforms. Spread the word with your friends and colleagues. Until next time, I'm Ali Noorani with Only in America.